Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to the Brahma Kumari's Meditation Museum 2016 Service Report. We don't know really where to begin, but let's just start with here. 220 events, over 30,000 visitors, and hundreds of thousands served through the radio station as well as the social media. We've had many guests, and we continue to welcome incredible voices from around the country that help us to aspire to be better people. Healing and Reconciliation, which was a post-election event, really took us into a place of accepting where we are and seeing what best we can do. Many webinar programs and discussions as to how to handle what we are witnessing at this time. We're now writing for Thrive Global, which is a new venture by Ariana Huffington, and Sanatan Kaur's new book was very touching. From pre-election conversations taking souls to the polls to post-election conversations, the doors and our hearts were opened to help us through the process. But when I saw the Trump-Pence bus parked in our parking lot at the museum, I knew we were out for an incredible time and an incredible conversation. Goodbye, President Obama, and thank you for all the many years, and welcome, President Trump. So let us check if we're more attached to our role or to our virtues. And dressing up here is something that we love to do. It's always so refreshing to just play and be normal in a very unique way. Celebration is really top on our list. We've had so many get-togethers, I can't even remember them anymore. Congratulations to our friend Kathy Hughes from Radio 1 that has now a School of Communications at Howard University, and we were honored to have been invited to participate on this very important achievement in her life. Meditate the Vote was an initiative that the AM radio began, knowing that we would need to be strong inside despite who becomes the next president of the United States. And that we witnessed that people who were really going inside of themselves wanted to find some kind of an internal strength and power to accept what they cannot change. Thanks to Sandra Proctor, or shall we say Dr. Proctor, for organizing conversations at some of the universities, and visiting our lady friends at Empower Billion Woman 2020 in Austin, Texas was just splendid. What a courageous amount of work that's going on there, and wish them all the very best. Loved seeing Ba, who's 100 years old and doing a lot of meditation and yoga still after all these years. Sister Gita participated in the FGM walk at the Washington Mall, and there was a beautiful message for women and their empowerment. And one of the things about studying here at Raj Yoga is that we become students that really begin to invest in our own transformation. So going to pilgrimages like going to Peace Village or going to Mount Abu to deepen our own experiences is vital. Our highlight, America Meditating Radio Retreat, welcomes so many of our guests from the radio show to get them empowered and filled up so they can go out and be of even greater service to our humanity. It's been actually titled one of the best retreats that we've had out of the 3 so far. So we're hoping that next year's will be just as splendid. Attending Veg Fest is always a very important experience, especially because Antonia is the only vegan amongst us, and we love to support their work. Sister Gita kicking up a dance step with Nikki Giovanni and attending the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation and having dinner at Whoopi Goldberg's home as they raise $4 million for the foundation. And I wonder, when are we ever going to raise $4 million for our work at the Meditation Museum? Of course, we could not miss Adele, who is in Washington, D.C., and our work to empower women continues. Maria Loy, if you're ever in New York, please go by and see her. She's one of the most incredible chefs from Greece. And Stephen Dinan, on his book, Sacred America, Sacred World, continues to highlight in our country another narrative in how we can really live together as one. The mayor also received a copy of the book when we were at Myrna's home. Time and time again, we are constantly offering a conversation that can help to remind us of our personal empowerment, remind us of who we are, that we are souls, and that God is the Supreme Soul, and that our pure actions will give us a future that these children can turn to say that it's hopeful. It's got some sort of a opportunity there. So on behalf of all of the students and staff and volunteers, we thank you for your contributions. It keeps these programs going. We thank you for your good wishes that keep us safe and protected. And we thank you for taking the step to empower your own lives. You know, there's no other meditation museum in the whole world. We are the only two right now. And it's something that we feel very passionate about, where all walks of life, all religious background, all cultures and creeds can come into these walls and answer the question, who am I and why am I here? Brother David enlightens us and is always the best MC. And sometimes we actually go out and play. This is us at the Wizards basketball game. They didn't win. And we always enjoy Reverend Ivy Hilton and Reverend Sylvia Sumter amongst us. This year we took a trip to UK to visit some of our other centers and also visited the Inner Space Museum and the Oxford Retreat Center. We were gifted this beautiful picture of Daddy Janki. And you know what, everyone? If you have the power to make someone happy, just do it. We had a few guests in that visited us from India, and it's always delightful to have them in. We didn't get that many guests this year from out of town as we usually do, but for those who did attend, it was sweet. Hannah Kim's Remember 727 continues to be a very thoughtful initiative on the mall, that we don't forget those who have served us and helped to make us a little bit more safe. A big shout out goes to Andy Shalal of Busboy and Poets, who opened up his shops for us to conduct a few conversations on Meditate the Vote. We enjoyed being able to offer the narrative, the conversation, and how best we can be. And please come by the ashram. I know that many of us who've never been in an ashram come by and really take some time and learn more at a personal level. The kids love it there. And having a heart-to-heart chit-chat with young boys and girls helps us to understand more about what the future holds. So EBW 2020 ladies were in town and they called to say, could we come over? It was only about 15 or so of them. And we sent them the van, sure. That's what we are. When you're at the Meditation Museum, we become a community, friends and family. It was an honor to attend many events at the White House this year, especially the Roots screening, the first African-American Black president. Like, wow, watching Roots and writing an article on it that went really well. It was very moving for me this year. And I'm hoping that next year we will also be able to continue to attend White House events to offer our contribution. I had Stephen dining at the museum on his book tour, and our wonderful brothers from the UK. Getting love from God, the Supreme Being, through Sister Gita and many of the staff members here is always such a highlight. The world gathers here, and we're always open to welcome everyone with open arms. Loved having Panache Desai and Jan Desai. And another highlight were the children from Colombia, who were called the Voices of Peace. These kids could sing, everyone. And just turns out that one of the royal members of the family was passing through that day and they got to meet them. That's just what happens here. You don't know who steps in the door. You don't know who you end up meeting and what transpires as a result. There's Sister Gita dancing again. She just can't help herself. Jay Ivy stepped into the space and gifted us with his beautiful hip-hop poetry on forgiveness. And I have to tell you, an incredible young man. Brilliant, kind, heartfelt. Our tours around and travel around with each other, we try to keep things as real as possible. We're normal people, but committed to truth. Our director, Sister Mohini, and there we are trying to dress up as if we're going to be deities. Of course we're going to be deities. That's why we're studying Raj Yoga. It was great spending the evening with Father Lionel here and hear the work that he's doing in raising awareness of ending violence in Colombia. And our friend Molly with her Movement with Soars conference. It was an unforgettable conversation. There's happy, and the service report wouldn't be complete without her contribution in being cute and contributing with her cuteness. So on behalf of all the sisters and the brothers here at the Meditation Museum, we wish you light, might, love, and insight. And hopefully the space of reflection will keep giving all of you an opportunity to consider that the present we are living and the present we are creating for ourselves and for our world is now. So we thank you very much and hope to see much more of you next year. Om Shanti.